Welcome back to the channel. I have something pretty cool for you. Yeah, we're going to get into some things that Caitlin Clark has accomplished, including a very, very cool stat that I had not seen before, especially the in-depth breakdown relative to the rest of the league, which I think you'll find, well, maybe not shocking. Shocking might not be the word. If you're a Caitlin Clark fan, you're probably like, yeah, that makes sense. But it is still wild to look into it as within context of the rest of the league and its entire history. We also got some clips for you from the LA Sparks game. And what inspired me to do this is after that Dallas game, and we're seeing it a little bit after the Sparks game, right? We're seeing a whole lot of Hatelins, a whole lot of slows taking this opportunity to attack Caitlin Clark, to trash Caitlin Clark, to talk about how she's not that good. And really, it's all just because the three ball is not there. But that is the only thing in her game that is not there. And we're hearing about how Paige Beckers is better. And we know how the GMs, what, 75% of them said Chelsea Gray is the best point guard in the WNBA. But I want to make very, very clear, and that is why I have this comment right here. I want to back up for a second because I've seen a whole lot of this, and I've seen people uh, putting out think pieces, and of course, some being a lot more vile in their observations, shall we say, about Caitlin Clark. But as you can see here, they're using this to mm, step on her, diminish her, call her out. I don't know, however you want to put it. People who just started watching the WNBA are finally figuring out there are better players in response to someone saying, "Is the Caitlin Clark hype over with or something?" Now, keep that in mind because I want to put that in context because a lot of people are talking about how bad Caitlin Clark is playing, how poorly Caitlin Clark is playing. So let's look at Caitlin Clark in the context of a couple of those players that I just mentioned. Caitlin Clark, 22 points, 4.5 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal in her first two games. Now, sounds pretty good, right? What is wild is a lot of us look at that and say, yeah, you know what? Caitlin Clark did not play great against Dallas. Now, a couple things. One, and again, part of it is Stephanie White and the system and the things she's asked to do and teammates that don't pass her the ball and screens that don't get set. But again, in keeping with the positivity that can sometimes be negative, is the expectations, what we have seen, what we know of Caitlin Clark, the expectations for her are so high. Like for me, I think if Caitlin's not averaging like 25-11, 25-12, then she's underperforming. And again, a lot of that is going to have to do with other factors, which is why I will say this next. Well, you know what? Let's compare. Let's go back. I'm not even Veronica Burton is having an amazing season. It was a shame to put her in here but people are talking about the season, what she's doing with the start of the season, because she spent all of 2024 on the bench. What bench? The Connecticut Sun bench. Stephanie White buried her on the bench for an entire season. Clearly, she can play. But let's go to this. Chelsea Gray. Now, Caitlin was 22 points. Chelsea's at 9. Caitlin was at 4.5 rebounds. Chelsea's at 3.3. Caitlin was at 8 assists. Chelsea's at 5.7. Caitlin was at a steal. Chelsea's at 3. Do I have to say more? I'm just saying. Three-quarters of the GMs in the league said she's the best guard, the best point guard in the WNBA. And of course, Paige Beckers, 17 and a half points, 2.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, half a steal. Do those sound like Caitlin Clark numbers? Caitlin Clark numbers when everyone is saying Caitlin Clark, even a lot of Caitlin Clark fans saying Caitlin Clark has not played that well the first two games. Again, folks, context. Expectations are so high that, yeah, you can actually look at the first two games and say, for Caitlin Clark, no, it's not that great. And yet, by the way, those 22 points, sixth in the league. Those 8 assists, second in the league. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Which brings me to the next thing, which is absolutely wild. Uh, you're going to love to see this number. Hello. I'm out. Yeah, this looks different. Sorry about that. I have to insert this one section. This video, I've done this entire video. I think this is the fourth time. Well, I'm only doing this part because only this part got messed up. I've had serious
technical difficulties. Then I had it all uploaded and ready to go on YouTube, and just this section was messed up because I ended up having the wrong data. I didn't feel right putting it out there with that, knowing that, even though it happened, after the fact. And the point is still the same. So, but I want to go through with the correct numbers, as you can see here, and this is the type of stuff that I wanted to get to. So, by the way, if I refer to something later in this video, I mean, just in passing, because I'm covering other stuff, and I say, Alyssa Thomas had this number or whatever, apologies, that is the incorrect number, but here's the correct one. Okay, let's go. Thank you for your patience. These are the type of things, and we know what she did in her rookie year, right? We know about the what is it, the 20 20 points, 10 assists, or 25 points, 10 assists, where she's tied for the all-time WNBA record with Courtney Vandersloot, who, played 10 times as many games than Caitlin did when she tied the record, right? And just again, that is something to put in context when people go back and say, "Oh, but so and so was great, and so was great," and you can't say Caitlin is, but she's destroying everything that happened in the WNBA before her existence. Here is another one, and this one I wanted to talk about because we've got a lot more data in terms of the number of players to reference. 18 points and 8 assists. WNBA players who've had 18 points and 8 assists in a single game, or at least, I should say, right? Caitlin Clark is already fourth on that list with 23. Diana Taurasi has 29. Skylar Diggins has 27. Courtney Vandersloot has 25. But now listen to this. Diana Taurasi did 29 in 565 games. Skylar Diggins, 27 in 337 games. Courtney Vandersloot, 25 in 436 games. Caitlin Clark did her 23 in 55 games. And we know she played 13 of those games hurt. And we also know the beginning of that 2024 rookie season, besides the schedule, it took a while before her teammates, I don't know, started catching passes that which she could have gotten lot more assists. We know that she started out taking a lot fewer shots than she did. She took more and more as the season went on and jacked up her average and so forth. We know how it's been with Stephanie White. But even without all of that, 23 in 55 games. You just heard Courtney, 25, 436. Skylar, 27, 337. Diana Taurasi, 29, 565. And it doesn't get any better. I mean, no one else is close. Alyssa Thomas is behind her. The triple-double machine. Stephanie White's certain type of dream for a point guard is the point forward. Alyssa Thomas has 20 of those games, but she's done it in 311 games. Sabrina Ionescu's 20 in 181. She's the only other one that's even remotely close to Caitlin, and she's nowhere in Caitlin Clark's universe. Chelsea Gray, the point guard that 3/4 of the GMs this year said is the best point guard in the WNBA, 18 in 328 games. Sue Bird, supposed all-time great point guard, 15 in 580 games. There aren't any other big. I mean, Kelsey Plum's on this list, but she's all the way down 12 and 280. Right? So, like, there's no one remotely close to Caitlin Clark's production on this list. Diana Taurasi is more than once in every 20 games. Right? Caitlin Clark, almost half of her games have been this number. Absolutely insane. So again, putting into context, when I say that she's the greatest talent to enter the WNBA, these are the types of things that you're seeing that are just upended the entire WNBA. So I don't want to hear about the history and the great players that came before her and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm letting this move on to the next part. Enjoy, because I know we're getting into the highlights of it. Let's go.
I hate this automatic play stuff, especially with volume. It drives me absolutely crazy. So this I want to show just because, well, for a couple of reasons. One, we've seen many times Caitlin Clark is a threat for the Fever to get a bucket at the other end, even on a made basket, because of her vision and her skill in terms of passing three-quarter court, right? Well, you know what? She can also do it with her legs, which we're going to show. And I'm also showing this because this is one of those things that makes me, I think about the injuries and go, yeah, man, I like what I'm seeing from her right here. I don't know that she's doing this if she's having lingering problems. So they made a bucket, right? Cam Brink scored. And now, as they do, watch this, as they do in these basketball games, because they think they have time to do it, they're going to focus on Cam Brink trotting back. Keep watching. Well, hey, how about if Caitlin Clark just goes by everyone to the basket and scores? I also love to see that because mentality, right? Like that is the Caitlin Clark mentality I want to see. That's the demon. That's the goat that just is because the other thing that really been annoying me a lot that I'm seeing a lot is this idea about her facilitating. Yeah, she's the greatest passer the WNBA has ever seen. I did that video all the way back in 24. But folks, she is a scorer first. Caitlin Clark is a scorer, period. Hands down. She was the all time leading NCAA scorer for a reason. Let's stop trying to turn her into a 10-point, 15 assist player. She's a 25-point, 10 assist player, 30-point, 10 assist player, okay? We also have this. Now we will go to that facilitating. Okay, we're going to take a look at this because the reason I'm going to show you this is a few things. One, and this is where you get a little bit of that battle with Stephanie White. The vision to see this, the mentality being a risk taker to throw this pass, and then the skill to make this pass. Those are three things on this play no one else in the league has. Now, Stephanie White, I tell you, does not like this because she doesn't want the risk taking aspect. But that is who Caitlin Clark is. And you don't get so many of these plays, both her own scoring and her assists, without it. Right? That's the thing. You can't take that away. You have to take the bad that happens with the good because the good outweighs the bad. She sees it. No one else sees it. She takes the risk. No one else takes it. She has the skill to complete it. No one else does. Now, unfortunately, sorry, before I don't mean to tease you, the camera work was not the greatest. So you don't, they should have pulled back and shown us the whole thing. So pay attention. Pay attention. Look where she throws that inbound pass from and to for a bucket to Kelsey Mitchell. This is insane, y'all. And by the way, great effort from Cameron Brink. But I mean, that has to be perfect. The angle of, it's like a football pass so that has to be dropped over the linebacker, but in front of the safety, right? You know what I'm talking about? Otherwise, it's an interception, or at the very least, your receiver is in the hospital. I mean, that's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. But you know what? I think maybe that we'll check out a few more. She makes everything easier for everyone. Now, if this, this might not even be the play that I'm thinking it is. Okay, had to pause for a second to make sure I had the right click, and I do now. And this is again the type of stuff that her teammates benefit from all the time that she does not get. There's no reciprocation. Now, look, I get there's a lot of things they can't do that Caitlin Clark can do, but man, sometimes just passing it back to her when she's standing open at the 3 point line would be nice. But here again, another easy bucket for Kelsey Mitchell because of Caitlin Clark. Let me just, I'm still, wait. How did that, how does this get through there? That's insane, guys. I'm just saying that again, an example of a pass no one else in the WNBA can make. No one else can make that pass. Oh, I hear a lot about this. She can't play defense stuff, right? Y'all heard things like that. Well, let's take a look at this. By the way, again, another burst of speed, quickness that I like to see when it comes to what those injuries did to her. Let me go. Oh, no, wait. Now, here's the other thing I want to point out, and I'll rewind it. Sorry, I know y'all hate when I stop. The deflection, unfortunately, didn't go forward, right? She had to stop her momentum, change direction, and come back and collect the ball. So, for everyone else in the league, this becomes still their ball, turnover, right? Got the steal, but it becomes a half court possession for the Indiana Fever or, whomever it is we're talking about because it's everyone else. Not for Caitlin Clark. Nope, not for Caitlin Clark. Again, also that mentality. You think, okay, well, this is half court possession. No, I'm going to go behind my back. I'm going to between. I'm going to change direction, and yeah, bucket. bucket. She said, no, no, I'm getting it anyway. Let me go back and get the ball. But that doesn't mean anything. You're still not stopping me. You can't stay with me. No, no one can play defense. But again, man, all she can do is shoot threes. They still say that, which is why they love the fact that the threes aren't going. Now, I've got one more for you, which is absolutely insane. I love this. I've watched this like 100 times. And I will also again say no one else in the league is doing this. But she has no mid game. She has no midi game. She can't finish at the rim. She can't play defense. She can't do this. She can't do that. She's had 2 bad games to start the season. Are we sure? Now I'm gonna let you see. Now watch. I probably won't be allowed to put this video up, but I mean that and the soft touch and everything. That's crazy. Now, I'm gonna finish with this. It's got a little longer than I thought, but this kind of goes with some of the stuff we've been showing. Caitlin Clark is by far right now. I know it's early, 2 games in. This is finishing at the rim 10 field goals in 12 attempts. She's 5 out of 5.5 per game, right? 91%. Derica Hamby is second at 62.5%, which, by the way, is a great number. But yeah, 6 foot Caitlin Clark, the point guard, is leading the WNBA in finishing at the rim. Please stop telling me that she's not her. Please stop telling me that Paige Beckers and Chelsea Gray and all these other guards that you love to name are better than Caitlin Clark. It's simply untrue. Now, will the numbers be there? I don't know. She's trying to adhere to the Stephanie White stuff. I think sometimes it's just her dog mentality. She gets out there and does her thing because she gets caught up in the game, which is great for me. I think that's how it should be. But I to deny that she is the most talented player to ever enter the WNBA is absolutely absurd. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.